Podcast. Hello. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, we're making our little announcement for Monday evening. We're going to try a new beer. We're going to play the San Francisco Niners, and we'll be rocking that night. But first and foremost, our beer is we're sticking with the Masthead family. This is number 2 that we're trying, and this one I find most interesting. Scottzilla, how are you, brother? Random, how you doing, man? You know what's everybody I know thought that Cincinnati was going to win that game, man. In my little circle of dudes, no, not today. No, this is just an announcement. Oh, Jesus, man, there's 7 people on already. How's everybody doing, man? Good to see you guys. Thanks for chiming in. I watching some of the other videos. It was a rough night last night or something on the old YouTube channels. I go to watch 8 Camel Toes, and it looks like all of his shit was taken down, You know what? I want the Steelers to win this game, and I'm not going to tell you why yet. And I want that to fester a little bit because obviously I'm a Browns fan and I'm a Mason Rudolph fan, but it's not for the reason you think. And I'll explain that later. I'm sure it's gripping you, But anyway, good to see you guys. Real quick, the beer that I'm going to do Monday night is it's a Masthead Brewing Company out of Cleveland. It's a Haunted Hayride Pumpkin Ale. And often I have stated when I do a lot of these beer tries, the beer is supposed to taste like beer, and this kind of stuff does scare me, not like boo, but when I hear pumpkin, I do want it to taste like a beer. I don't want it to taste like pumpkin pie or something like that. So I'm, hopefully it's notes of pumpkin and cinnamon and all that happy horse shit, and it tastes like beer. And like I said, every beer that I try, I want to really like. And this is not a review. We're trying to find all the good beers, and we don't give any bad reviews because we haven't tried any bad beers yet. So, this is how huge this market is now. The craft beer market. There's so much great quality shit coming out there. I shouldn't have any trouble continuing this adventure. So, just real quick, I'll read it real quick. Just give a shout out. And these guys are in downtown Cleveland. So another Cleveland brewery. God, man, there's so many of them. And they're all making such great beer. And it's a restaurant, one of them. Oh, it's on Superior Avenue in case anybody close wants to check it out. But Haunted Hayride, Pumpkin Ale, 7.3%. Ooh. Which is about what I like drinking. Fall on the North Coast is the most nostalgic of the 4 seasons. As the days get shorter, the nights get cooler, and the leaves start to change. We're taken back to times telling ghost stories by a campfire, trick-or-treating, and hay rides at a pumpkin patch. These are often some of our best memories with family and friends. While we hope you're not doing any trick-or-treating of your own these days, we hope that you enjoy, which is a nice little, you better be old enough to drink, that kind of thing. Enjoy this beer with those closest to you as take the next generation out to earn their weight in candy. Haunted Hayride is an amber ale brewed with pumpkin, cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger. So that's what that's all about. We're not drinking it tonight. We're waiting for Monday. We'll do our beer try Monday because we like drinking beer and watching football. But anyway, it's great to see you guys. First, I'm going to flap my big ass lips for a little while here. Just kind of recapping the Ravens game a little bit. And this isn't an I told you so video or anything like that. I do find some things troubling, and it's not just Browns fans. There's a lot of different fans for a lot of different teams. And this is another reason in a long list of reasons that I wanted to start this channel was the volatility in thought. And I don't mean necessarily just sticking to your guns, but his first 3-4 games, the volatility and thought is a little annoying to me. And I'm referring to the Ravens because I think they're a really good team. And I expect to beat really good teams this year. I mean, that's what I've always said from the beginning. It's not that, I'm a better fan than anybody else or anything like that, but just kind of feeling that my appraisal of the team was right so far. And the Ravens are a really good team. And I hear a lot of people now trying to, like I'm watching like Engraven Vids has a video, a live thing actually going on right now, I think, like what's wrong with the Ravens. So just because they lost to the Browns, all of a sudden everybody thinks the Ravens stink now, and, there are real arguments out there for it. I'm not saying there aren't, but because they played Miami, then they play. Oh, who did they play after that they whooped on? Anyway, but you heard the list of shit when the game started. If you guys were watching with us, the commentators, they're first in offense, they're first in run defense, they're first in all these things, and they wind up getting beat by the Browns. And I guess you could say pretty handedly. But we're a very talented team, and I really stick by that. And I'm, how great it was for things to come to fruition. It seems in this particular game, but these signs were there. I mean, we should have beat the Rams, and I can't help that everybody keeps skipping over talking about the refs. I mean, we had 20 penalties in that first game. And we were still like within 2 points at the end of the third quarter. And that's a lot to overcome. And that's what there were signs in that game of what a great team this was, despite some of the numbers, some of the analytics. Everybody was whooping on Baker because he's getting forced to the right and all the stuff that they were doing to him. But when you're starting at 1st and 20, I can't help but say this enough. When you're starting at 1st and 20, 3rd and 25, it's really hard to dig yourself out of a hole, no matter how good you are. And a couple of times we did in that particular game. And I don't want to rehash every game. I don't want to waste my time or anybody else's time on that. But I saw Hines, JP, how you doing, buddy? I saw signs of greatness through these 3 games. Now, was the Jets game a particularly great game? No, it wasn't, but there's still another team out there trying to stop you. And I guess now that I'm articulating my thoughts here, you can see where even I'm kind of doing a biased kind of, bob and weave here with why I do think that this team is really great. Because, and I have to start now by saying, and I'm going to go through some analytics, which the Browns have a pretty cool analytics thing on their site. It's probably on every site, but it's just really easy to grab. And I wanted to go through a little bit of analytics with you guys before we play this game Monday, just to see how this game, and I'm not guaranteeing a win or anything like that, but I expect to beat the 49ers despite the analytics that show that they're a lot better team than us. And a lot of fundamental guys are right, and a lot of analytics guys are right. I do believe, and I think a lot of people agree with me, that you really you need to have both in your analysis. So I wanted to go through the little analytics list that they got here on their site, which is unbiased. It's all factual. It's like NFL rankings on different positions of play. And I wanted to read those to you so you could see the disparity between the 2 teams and why a lot of people think that there's no chance we're going to win this game because the 49ers are just so much better than us. And I would like to add on top of that the fundamentals of the players that we have, despite having a new coach. Oh, Noah's got a live chat tonight? But anyway, it does remind me. You remember when you guys remember, and I think I said this in the our live stream if anybody was there. and not to be redundant, but this game kind of reminds me of when the Mavericks beat Miami in the finals, and all the news reports and everything wasn't so much that the Mavericks beat Miami; it was that Miami lost. So the train of thought went to Miami losing as opposed to how great the Mavericks were that year. And that was a little bit upsetting to me. Even as a semi-LeBron fan, it was just kind of the way people's minds work. Just reminds me of like what happened to the Ravens Sunday against the Browns. And we did look really good. Our line firmed up. We had some guys back like Chris Hubbard from the Steelers, who was a second string guard. He helped firm up the line. A lot of things were clicking. And there was still, you still had stuff like Odell getting held every other play. We were still getting a lot of non-calls and stuff like that, but we were performing so well, it just wasn't a factor, which was a lot of us expect to happen this year, that we're going to sit here and we're going to cry about the refs, but we're going to be good enough to surpass that. And, to be honest with you, the fact that we're playing in San Francisco, I can't help but say it enough that I feel safer playing there than in fucking Bottlegate Stadium. And that's what I'm going to call it this year, because it just seems in the spirit of the refs, they trounce the fucking Browns in penalties and see everything and ignore a lot of shit for the opposition. And we'll see how the season unfolds, whether I'm right about that or not. But real quick, I'm going to find this real quick so I can read this about San Francisco. Like I said, Browns got a pretty cool site. And I think most of the sites are probably really cool, but this is like really easy to get to on team stats and all that shit. And if I go to schedule and San Fran shithole. Okay, real quick. I'll go, Cleveland first, San Francisco second. Maybe I should just repeat that as I'm going, but check this out. Points per game. Cleveland is 22nd, or 22.2, and they're 15th in the league. And San Fran shithole has 32, and they're third in the league in scoring points. Okay. Yards per game, 380, and we are 12th in the league. San Fran shithole is 421, and they are fourth in the league. So you can see the disparity that I'm talking about and why I gave this a drive-by and thought this was so important as a prequel to what's might happen Monday. And like I said, I'm not guaranteeing a win or anything like that. I just thought this would be a great setup coming into Monday, playing these guys who are one of the best teams in the league. So here we go. Pass yards per game, 265. We are 12th in the league. 246. They are 17th in the league. Okay, so that's not a huge disparity, but that was one of the things that we're a little bit better at. So rushing yards per game, we had 115. We are 14th. They have 175, and they are second. Okay, so another 3 out of these 4 that I just spoke to you or verbalized. There's a huge disparity between us and San Francisco. They're so way ahead of us analytically in the NFL, according to these stats. Okay, defensive points per game. Ours was 22. We are 15th in the league. Theirs is 18, and they're 8th. So once again, another disparity. Defensive yards per game. 335, we're 13th. They're 283. They are 3rd. So once again, of these 6 that I just revealed to you, there's a huge disparity between us and San Francisco. Big disparity. Defensive passing yards per game. Ours is 215. We are 7th. Theirs is 208. They are 6th. So actually, that's pretty close. But you can see kind of what I'm getting at here. Defensive rush yards per game. Ours is about 119. We're 21st. Theirs is 75. They are fifth. So just a little recap. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, it doesn't look like you can see it. Just in case anybody wants to pause this and have those quick facts for some stupid reason. I don't know, because I verbalized them pretty good. But I just wanted to make it clear the disparity analytically between the two teams. Kidder, how are you, buddy? Right. So when we play these guys Monday, obviously us and the 49ers fans, we can't wait to see how this thing comes to fruition because San Francisco looks like so much better a team than us. But I still have to argue that fundamentally, I still think we're just as good or a better team. And I'm not necessarily as scared of anybody this year, including the Patriots or Kansas City. I'm gonna repeat that. Now I don't bet or anything like that, so I don't necessarily put anything my word behind it. So whatever, however that is. But this should really be a really good game. And what makes it interesting also is that they were kind of shopping for Garoppolo at the time before that transition. So we got a lot of media people here that wanted Garoppolo as our quarterback, and the fact that he's doing well now, we still got some media people that think he's going to do really well against us, But like I said, I wanted to review those stats and watch this game together and see how this thing comes out, because I think we're really going to match up well with these guys. Now, it is an NFL game. A lot of things happen. I'm not guaranteeing a win, but I really think it's going to be a really good game, and I really think we're going to win it, to be honest with you. The shortened week hasn't really let me go the opposite direction. We have a bye week, and it always seems to be better for everybody else than the Browns. That's why I always kind of like these short weeks. It always seems like, despite a little less rest, that just football was on our mind a little bit more with our team, and it seemed like we always did better crunched like that. I don't know. I'll have to check out some stats and see if because it always seemed like we lost after a bye week. And of course, this year we got a bye week right before the Patriots. So I'm hoping that this year is a little bit different, that we solidify during the bye week and we don't get too much rest or be football forgetters, that kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to grab a quick smoke and I'll be right back. I want to put the beer away before it gets warm. So saving it for Monday. I'm going to smoke and give me a second to reach the chat because I was lips and I didn't get to see everything. So give me about a minute here, fellas. You guys hear my wind chimes? I know wind chimes are gay, right? So, how come it, when I go to find Seven Camel Toes channel, it doesn't give me anything when I do a YouTube search? Any of you guys know that? Because I don't know. Because I'll type in Seven Camel Toes and it doesn't bring up his channel. It brings up everybody else. So I'm actually drinking relatively light. I'm drinking a Yingling this evening, trying to keep it simple. It's a nice, cheap alternative to some of these craft beers that are so expensive. But, like I said, they're not that expensive when you buy them in 4 and 6 packs, as opposed to going to a bar and pay, $8 to $10 for one of them, So I thought I caught something in the chat about Noah streaming tonight because something went down last night and I don't really know anything about it. And then when I went to a Camel Toes channel, everything looked like it was cut down, like he got banned or something, or I don't know what the hell YouTube does, but I did see Scottzilla talking about some of the stuff, but it wasn't really informative as somebody that wasn't there. So I don't know really necessarily what happened, but certainly don't want any Camel Toes channel being taken down. So if he's got another channel he's running, I'm trying to get on it, that's one of my sanctuaries. All right, I have to hold on a second. I have to get another beer. God damn it. I know a lot of downtime. I try not to have any radio silence. But I do need to get another beer. Oh, not too much. So I gotta find out how to get to 7 Camel Toes because it won't come up. Okay, let's read real quick. So Tom, geez, that's a book on a can. Oh, because I was reading my shit. Okay, Rogue Dog, it's me. Does it get you bent? It's the real question. JP, sup Rudy, sup JP, 44 in Rogue, what up? JP, was you keeping up with the Camel Kibo shit? Okay, so Kibo was involved. And then JP says, 44, where is the live stream at? I've been looking for it, nothing on Kibo. What did I miss? Okay, so he is 7 Camel Toes now. So who do we got on here? Who's sticking around? Is it one of you? Are you a channel maker or are you new? Do you know anything about this or are you just kind of hanging out? Darn it. Okay. It's like I only got one person on here, but yeah. So I really don't like what's happening to the Ravens right now and everybody kind of whooping on them because we beat them. And I guess it was convincingly, but at halftime, it was 10-7, I think, or something like that. And then the second half, we kind of, which is historically, since '99, uncharacteristic of the Browns to actually have a better game plan than our opposition in the second half. And it started to look like that with our 2 losses, with the Titans and the Rams. But we're getting a lot of guys back. Us being so deep in the secondary is really, really a big hats off to Dorsey and the gang we've never been that deep ever that I can remember. I mean, I don't think since I was a kid, like the Sight days. But Schobert had a really good game, and that was something that I was talking about during our stream. And like I said, this isn't a pat on the back for myself or anything like that, but it was kind of like a revenge game for Schobert because last year against the Ravens, um, that particular game threw a lot of Schobert's stats into like the bottom echelon of the linebacker crew. So everybody was kind of whooping on him at the end of the year subtly. I mean, and it wasn't huge because Schobert's not a big headline guy like Chubb or OBJ or any of those guys, Landry, you name it. But now Njoku won't be back, but we got Higgins back and we got Callaway back. So we got 2 or 3 guys besides Odell that are going to beat one-on-ones, 7 out of 10 times here. So I still feel like we're firing on all thrusters despite the injuries. And if our line holds firm, it's going to be a long game for the 49ers. I can assure you that. Obviously Chubb is who, I've been flatting my big ass lips about him ever since we got him, how important he is to this team. Besides Kareem Hunt, he's an anchor of this team for sure. But I'm trying to think of anything else that I'm forgetting because I know I wanted to talk about Schobert and his revenge, kind of like a revenge game for him and how well he played. Mac Wilson had a pretty decent game, and we won't see Kirksey the rest of the year. So it's nice that Mac from Bam Blam is stepping up and filling the hole pretty well. That it's not just a spackle job. I mean, he looks like a pretty wholesome, fundamentally sound linebacker out there, making some hits, making people pay. And that's exactly what he was. Pretty smart linebacker, well in space. Obviously, with his, the interceptions that he's had this year in preseason and whatnot. So we're still kind of firing on all thrusters into this San Fran game, and it's going to be a really good game. And I do expect to win. I expect to win this game because I think fundamentally we got a lot more guys than they do. And it's not those stats that I read you are skewed or anything like that. I think they're a really good team, but I think we're kind of getting into our own here. And we have been building upon our disparities in good play. And we're firming up pretty good, like just in time for some of these games that are coming. San Francisco, the Patriots, the Seahawks. Those are our next 3 games, not in that order. But I think we're going to win some of those. I think we're going to probably win 2 of these 3. I don't know necessarily which one. It might be Monday night. We might. They might. 49ers might squeak by. I do not expect some kind of shutout from the 49ers, despite their stats, their analytics, and Garoppolo showing up and being a pretty decent quarterback here. So it's going to be really fun. I think I'm going to get out of here. We kind of petered out here, and I'm going to go try to find 7 camel toes here and get on and see what the hell's going on with this. Why I can't watch any of his shit anymore. So we'll see you Monday. We're going to do our live stream. We're going to try our new beer. This is Rudy G Funk out. God bless you guys, and you guys be safe. Hope to see you Monday. All right, guys, we'll see you. Bam.